Hey everybody, Dimitri here with Serg Supply, and we're doing a Lonseal Top Coat install. We're going to be using the Lonseal brand epoxy for this, and we're going to walk you through every step of the process, hopefully save you some strife on this journey to get your floor all pretty. As with any other core component installation, preparation is key. If you're not a fan of gloves, you better learn quick because anything this stuff touches will get ruined. So get gloves. I double layer my gloves. Don't wear any clothes you like. Wear something dirty. Get an extra bucket. A power drill with a mixing bit or a spade or something like that will help a lot because mixing it by hand can be problematic. We also have this vinyl roller. You want something that's stiff and rigid, but not too hard. Don't get anything with metal wheels like rubber or Delrin wheels will work just fine. Last but not least, get yourself some trowels. I know Lonseal sells some with teeth that are specifically designed for this, but any kind of trowels will work. And if you plan on reusing them, just clean them right away. Don't let them sit. It's going to build up, cake up, and you won't be able to use it the next time around. All right, you'll notice I have my epoxy here in an extra bucket. We've learned over the course of the last few years not to mix all this at once. It actually cures very, very fast. You want to take your time in between sections. So we only pour half at a time, mix half at a time. Take our time rolling out and then continue at our own pace. A few other points: be mindful of the temperature you're working in. If it's dead of winter, keep your van inside somewhere climate controlled. We have it inside our shop. It is the middle of January. It is not warm outside, but it needs to be within a certain range. You can check the actual label or an online listing for more details there. And second, we've laid out our Lonseal completely because there may be trimming depending on what you have. Because we have Go Code threshold pieces and a little bit of stuff in the front, we did have to trim. Do this step first before you roll it back up prior to install. Now the side you start from is really up to you. We always like to start from the front, mostly because we're installing a lot of step extensions, whether it be RB components, Flatline Vanco, or our own. So we're going to take this Lonseal, roll it up this way so that the direction that it's unrolling is the direction that we're spreading the epoxy. So go ahead and do that first, and we'll dive right into mixing this. All right, so you can be meticulous as you go. Be very careful around the step. You don't want to put too much to where it's dripping over onto the actual step. This is very hard to get out. But be mindful that all the edges are covered. And when we do this, when we design the build, do the build plan, very high traffic areas where we know we're going to have a lot of open space that's kind of susceptible to air pockets, we're going to put a heavier layer of epoxy. You don't necessarily need it for lower traffic areas like around the wheel well or the far back of the vehicle, but to be safe, you can put heavy epoxy there too. We've got the front section glued down temporarily. We're going to start rolling. We always roll from the center out, trying to push out any air bubbles and work your way towards the outside. Really glob down the rest of this bucket. That's about the halfway mark for us. Oh yeah, can you push it for me? And if we can tighten up that roll at all too. Okay. All right, as we continue on to this last section, it's important to let this epoxy actually seep into the seam between our dovetail sections. If you don't do this, your floor may vibrate, may creak, but getting the epoxy in there is going to hold it all together. So just take your time with this. Don't freak out. Don't rush. Make sure you spread it evenly. It's going to make rolling this thing out a lot easier later. All right, so this part of the install is not so fun. If you've got kids that are old enough, put them to work because you're going to have to start putting a lot of pressure down on this floor, rolling out all these air bubbles. You're going to have to do this a few times, different stages of the drying. You want to do it right away, wait about 30 minutes, wait 2 hours, maybe hit it the next morning. There's no amount of rolling that is too much. All right, folks, we're done with our part and showing you how to put the Lonseal in. We're still going to have to go back and do several rounds of rolling out those air bubbles. Be sure to check it several times before it completely cures. In any case, if you have any other questions or comments, you can leave them below, reach out to us, and as always, happy building.